I was thinking about that. If I chose not to do the chemo, and I hadn't heard about Immunocine, I was thinking, well, if I got 6 months, I've got 5 months that I can probably almost be myself. Went to talk to the guy that handles my finances. And I said, I've always wanted like a turbo Carrera, or something, but I've always bought practical vehicles, So honestly, if I choose this one route, I'm going to buy one. I don't have one though.
He had gone in for some food poisoning, the strangest thing, and they did an abdominal CT scan, and they found a tiny little dot, smaller than the size of a pea, in his bladder. He really relatively brushed it off till we realized how quickly he was going from a stage 2 to then being diagnosed with stage 4.
They recommended removal of my bladder and radiation and chemo. But I couldn't do that because I was, without your bladder, it's a whole setup with an external bladder bag and stuff. And I elected bladder preservation. I started chemo and radiation for a few months that fall of 2023. It ended about Thanksgiving, just after Thanksgiving. As it got closer to Christmas, I started feeling bad, and it just got steadily worse. And the day after Christmas, I went to see my doctor, and she told me to go to the hospital. And then it got bad, 4 days in, some doctor comes in and tells me that, I'm sorry to tell you, you got stage 4, and you don't have much time left.
The doctor just said, "You seem like such wonderful people, and I'm so sorry to tell you that this is not a cancer that will even go into remission, that this is stage 4, and our goal is to help get you well enough so you can get out of the hospital."
They did all they could in there, juiced me up and, to try to get me as healthy as possible and feeling better, and started scheduling, when I got out, which was, I think, the 19th of January, the same kind of stuff again. Intense chemo and stuff to try to give me more longevity and to get my periods in order, all that stuff.
When he came home from the hospital, he had oxygen tanks. He had a tube that I had to drain every couple of days. He was having trouble manipulating the stairs. So we were planning on the next phase.
I started thinking, I wanted to look at other options. It was a Super Bowl Sunday. It got to be about that point. And I met a gentleman at the Super Bowl party. I didn't even really want to go. I was like, I'll go, I'll just leave early if I feel bad. And because I was feeling rough. And I met a guy that has cancer also. They introduced me to Immunocine. They hadn't done bladder cancer before. I think I was the first one for bladder cancer. But the other cases that I looked at, it was logical to me. It made sense.
The doctors that had helped create this particular method are all from very reputable institutions here in the city of Houston, and we felt great comfort with that. It was explained to me as if, in layman's terms, it's like a vaccine. They take a piece of that tumor, that cancerous tumor cell that's malignant, and they create a personal vaccine.
I was like, oh gosh, I hope I get in, because there was criteria. They just don't take everybody.
For us, it was take 6 weeks out of your life, focus 100% on this procedure, and come back and just pray that it's going to work on you. This might actually give us an opportunity to have a life. As it related to his treatment, it was almost as if you had a concierge service. They had somebody that took care of all of your needs. The minute you're accepted into the program, you're given a schedule. That schedule told you exactly when you were going to have blood drawn. Was the doctor coming to your hotel, or were you going to a clinic? It was a very relaxing atmosphere as well, to be able to heal and keep your mind and body and spirit all in a very positive frame of mind.
I was positive. I had to be positive because the alternative was where I was at. So I was just completely positive this was going to work. First, I'll go to my bladder doctor. I saw her again about 6 weeks ago, and she said, you know, you have no signs of cancer in you, period. Zero signs of bladder cancer. I said, well, what's your opinion? You know, what do you think? And she goes, my opinion is you don't have cancer.
We were still holding our breaths, thinking, what if something didn't work? What if I was compromised somewhere else? What if it had too rapidly moved? Because once it's stage 4, it spreads pretty quickly. Then they would send us from one specialist, the lung specialist, to another specialist, to another specialist, and everybody that came back, they said, well, we want you to talk to another doctor because this can't be. These test results just, or we must be reading something wrong. So the final milestone was when the doctor sat down and said, I've got some pretty good news. At the very beginning, he was bummed out because he wanted to come home, start riding his bike and go back to work, and he had to take it a little bit slower.
I'm impatient. I want to be better. You know, I'm trying to be active. I'm way below par of where I'd like to be, not way, but below par. But I'm slowly seeing just a slow progression of being able to do more and feeling healthier.
For him to think that I'm not going to make it to have another Christmas was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. And now we're planning trips. He's back at work. I'm back at work. Our life has gone back to normal. It's given us the gift of starting over again.